Hey guys, for today's video I'm just going to talk very briefly on a topic I actually may have mentioned in the past now that I'm thinking about it, but I'm going to roll with it anyway. Just the idea of how much easier it is to consistently maintain and clean things rather than doing these big like annual cleanings or monthly cleanings or maintenance or whatever you'll want to call it. By this kind of stuff I mean, I'll use an example of something I did recently. My car needed to be cleaned. It had a lot of just like the dirt on the floor pads and crumbs in between seats and dust in the dashboard and cleaning the windows, that whole thing. And it's not something I've done in months. I have, my family's been using the car and all that, and I've been using the car, and we haven't cleaned it, like the inside of it, in many, many months, maybe even a year. Now, probably not a year, probably closer to 6 months. But in any case, since I'm only cleaning it like every 6 months or something like that, it just takes so much longer. It took like a couple hours to clean it real well, kind of thing. Whereas if I would have just cleaned it once a week, a quick vacuum and dusting things off, I wouldn't need to spend hours on it. I would need to spend 15 minutes on it once, something along those lines. So this is an example of how I think it makes a lot more sense to clean things very, very regularly. That's something I did a lot when I was in college, rather than sitting down and like cleaning my bathroom once a month, like a in-depth clean. I just cleaned it after every single time I used it in a better clean wipe down once a week, just to make sure it stays good. But overall, I cleaned it anytime I used it. Anytime I made any kind of mess anywhere, I would clean it. The toothpaste and all that kind of stuff. This also goes for things like dishes. Dishes are very, very easy if you just clean your dishes as you put them in. The time dishes become difficult is if you're a family and you wait until the sink is full of dishes or the dishwasher's full and things like that. I guess this also plays into something like maintenance, which is not something I have a ton of experience with, but in terms of something like a car, getting your regular oil changes and tire rotations and new tires when you're supposed to, in a house, changing filters out when you're supposed to, all those kind of things, maintaining those things regularly, at least as much as they're supposed to be, is so important to the life of the product and ensuring that you don't have any major issues with the product. For example, with a car, as long as you change the oil regularly and you maintain the car regularly like you're supposed to, that car could last for decades. Most cars don't last much more than, 5 years, give or take, depending how much you use your car, because most people don't maintain them all that much. They just kind of change the oil, rotate the tires, get new tires, and that's really it. The whole rest of maintaining the car, they don't really worry themselves with, which I understand. I don't really maintain my car either, so I'm not really one to talk or chastise over it, but the concept is, if you maintain things regularly, your costs will be much less overall, because it's a lot easier to maintain a car regularly as needed than it is to buy a new car every 5 years or something along those lines. A similar thing could be said about say a toaster oven. We got a newer toaster oven about a year ago now, and my intention, I told my whole family, I said, look, we just got a new toaster oven. Let's make sure after every time we use it, we clean it, or at the very least, let's clean it down in depth once a week. I went to school. No one cleaned it down while I was at school for a couple months, and it was absolutely filthy and stained and just shot. It's still very usable and stuff. It's just, as far as cleanliness goes, it'll never be as clean as it was when we bought it again. So at this point, there's no reason to take care of it. It's just use it until it's all worn out, and then we'll just go get a new one. That's not how I like to live my life. I don't like to just wear things out until they're worn out and get new ones. I like to make things last as long as I can, be as efficient with my stuff as I can. So yeah, that's all I really wanted to say in this video. I guess I'll wrap it up here. As always, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in tomorrow's episode.